every day, you should get used to it. Hands behind your back, face down and still say you shooting. Can't breathe, knee where your neck be like why you moving. Kids in your car, headed home like what you doing.
Yo, what's up? Welcome to another episode of the Disruption Podcast. I'm your host, Noor.
It's Chief Old Soji in the building, baby.
It's Mo Easy.
And you got the Prince here.
Yo, so we had an episode planned for this week with a special guest, but in light of everything going on around the world, and there's a conversation that we've been wanting to have for quite a while now. Actually, we kept pushing it back. We were like, you know what? We're going to wait for this week's episode is going to drop next week with the episode we had planned. And instead, we're going to have this conversation that we've been wanting to have for a long time. Basically,
like
it's
2 months or something.
It's literally, so if you don't know the way our podcast, probably no one knows. The way our podcast works is we have two chats. Yeah, we've got podcast and then we've got topics. Yeah, and so on Facebook Messenger, we message each other stuff on our podcast chat all the time, and we're like, yo, this is how we're organizing this, or this, what time you're getting here, whatever. And then topics, literally throughout the week, will just be like, what is it like? Oh, I have this idea. Why don't we talk about this? Why don't we talk about that? That's as much research or whatever as we ever do for any episode. But for this episode,
not scripted.
This week, I think we've put in like non-stop screenshots, voice recordings, clips, all this kind of stuff. And that's the most research we've ever done. And despite that, it's still going to be a little bit messy probably.
A little?
Hella messy, bro.
But I think it's a really important discussion. And basically, the topic that we wanted to talk about like 2 months ago is that America's not that great.
Yeah.
America's not that great. And I think this week or this last week and a bit or so has really, really proved that in terms of the humanity of a nation. And so we're just going to get into that topic and see how you guys are feeling and
let's do it, man.
See how we wrap it up at what point or whatever. There's a bunch to talk about, but I guess maybe Dan or Carlos or someone, Marwa maybe. I mean,
want to talk about
run us down on what's happened.
Yeah.
What's happening in the world?
Yeah. What? You want to take it away?
No, you can start off.
All right. Well,
We'll see.
Clearly there's a lot that's been going on. But there's a lot that's always been going on as well, first and foremost. We should say that. Like, it's not like this is a new thing, you know what I mean? Even 2 episodes ago or something like that, we spoke about, all the issues surrounding what goes on, yeah? Anyways, there was George Floyd, rest in peace, George Floyd. That was the catalyst to what we're seeing happen around us right now, yeah? Not even just, cause this is not just like a thing going on in America now. This is going like worldwide, man. Countries and people are stepping up everywhere, yeah? So earlier last week, we witnessed the brutal murder of George Floyd under the hands of a police officer who was meant to protect and serve him. Instead, he took his life in a position that was not protocol or anything at all like that. For 9 minutes, this man had his knee on the neck of a man who was telling him he couldn't breathe, and many other people were also telling him as well, please get off him. And, you had 3 other police officers who were there as well, did not do anything, did not say anything. Yeah. We're even telling... The one that really annoyed me was the guy in front of the camera saying, oh, this is why you don't do drugs, kids. What does this mean?
Yeah,
what does that mean, bro? Like,
we'll
get into it, obviously. But, yeah, George Floyd passed away from that encounter, I'll say, essentially, man. No matter what autopsy wants to say or whatever, you know what I mean? Like, that, if he was not in that position, he'd be alive
autopsy
today.
did say that he did have some conditions.
Underlying conditions.
But
and that, yeah.
What happened there added on top
100%,
and led to the death.
Yeah, so that's what was the catalyst for and George Floyd was a black man, and the cop who had his knee on his neck was a white cop. So, you want to fix it? So yeah, that's what was the catalyst for everything that we're seeing go down now and around us, around the world. So I guess from that, it really opened up, everyone's eyes to a lot of different issues, that are going on. From one, police brutality. That's something that we've been seeing happen countless of times in America, but like now worldwide, and it looks like what's going on. And it looks like just nationwide in America. Like there's just been uproar. We've seen protest riots. We'll get into all of what we're seeing go down, but it's created a major divide. We've seen the true colors of a lot of people, leaders come out from it. And it's just really opened up everyone's eyes to a very, very important conversation that needs to be had between, all sorts of groups and stuff like that. So
I reckon the reason why everyone is acting the way we're acting right now is because these things have been happening back to back right now. it's almost like, you know, we didn't take this much action on the previous one as well. You know what I mean? Like a couple of episodes ago, we spoke about
Ahmaud Arbery.
yeah, you know, and then there's like obviously some people were going a little bit wild, and then we didn't even breathe, bro. Right?
Yeah.
And then fast forward, then we see this. It's like, now we had enough. If this was to happen at the end of the year, I don't know if, you know, the way we'd be acting now would be the same, because obviously there's been like a lot of space, right? But then there was just too much that's has happened, right? Before it was the nurse as well. We'll get into that later on, but the nurse that who got shot at our house because the police thought
Yep.
they were looking for someone else, right? There's that, and there's a few others that we don't know about because it's not out there
Bro,
yet.
you know what's crazy? It's like, well, that or it's just not filmed.
Yeah, it's just not filmed. Yeah, like imagine that, bro. You get what I'm saying? So for us, it's almost like for people who do look deep into these things, they're like, yo, this is too much, man. We gotta do something. And I think that's why it got to this point right now. We didn't get a chance to breathe.
Yeah. I think there was no gap as well.
Yeah.
But there was also the fact that for the first, none of this has been justified, obviously. Yeah.
No.
But for the first time, or at least it seems the first time, there's absolutely no dirt that you can put on this guy's name. Like, there is no way that white media or media that's pushing a white agenda there's no way for them to twist this, right? Like, the guy's clearly a
100%
good
not.
guy, right?
Yeah.
You got rappers coming out saying, hey, this guy used to pull pools to the courts with me to baptize children.
Yeah.
Right? He's a community man. He's there for work. He's there as like I think through his church as well or something like that. Like, he's clearly just a good guy.
Yeah.
And there was no way they could twist that narrative.
I've not seen anything bad on the media about
Exactly, right? And it's not that any of the other ones were justified. It's just that they managed to twist the story and put enough ammo in the guns of those that are racist to push back, right?
Yep.
Whereas this time it's like, yo, there's actually nothing to push back on regarding this guy.
And they were saying there was not enough evidence.
Bro, that was whack.
Yeah.
That
Well,
was-
as in to prosecute
Yeah.
initially, yeah?
I was like, enough evidence. Do you see the video, fam?
Yeah.
Like, legit, sometimes the video is all you need to be like, okay, obviously these guys did not act accordingly, and
Yes.
and so on, so on.
like, honestly, that when that came out, when it's like, oh, we don't have enough evidence. Like, I don't know what constitutes enough evidence then. Like, at which
Yeah.
point do you go, yes?
I just kind of like want us to retract just a little, because there was more video footage that was released
Yes.
afterwards, after we all saw the initial video.
Yeah, because
of
they
him on
actually
the
did
floor.
try to say some different things.
Yeah.
We don't know what happened
So,
before.
I mean-
Then they showed what happened
Yeah.
before, and he resisted. They showed he actually went peacefully.
Compliant.
He
Yeah,
was fighting back to the cops. They saw them all beating him in the car, and then we
Yeah.
saw what transpired afterwards.
So I mean, like, the initial like thing, the whole how it started was, you know, he was at a store, and then one of the shop clerks called the police officers because they thought he was using a fake $20 note. And so that's basically the foundation of what happened. So the cops come, two of them
or
arrive.
writing a fake check or something. I
Or,
think
yeah,
it was
something
actually.
like that. So two of them arrive, and, you know, they take him outside. Correct me if I'm wrong, you know, they try to like handcuff him, sit him down and stuff. And at that point, the new video that was released, the police officers were basically saying that he was suffering from something medical at that moment. So they called the ambulance. So that's basically their thing of saying he was already suffering from something before the whole knee thing happened. So I think that's why they were saying that there's not enough evidence, because, you know, that initial encounter that happened there, he was already suffering, he was already going through something. So I think that's what they're using, which doesn't justify it. It really
Yeah.
doesn't, like, at all. So yeah, I don't know.
How do you go from trying to help someone to putting your knee on their
That's the
neck?
thing.
though,
Like,
as well?
at which point did you go,
This guy's a threat to my life.
that's the thing. That's exactly what it is. And I don't know, but what lack of humanity do you have to hear another man, grown man, saying, I can't breathe,
Yep.
get him to the point where he's calling for his mother,
Yep.
right? Who he knows is dead.
No,
Right?
resisting,
Yeah.
bro. That's
And like you've absolutely emasculated this human being. And you just don't go, yeah, you know what? Maybe I should lift my knee off his neck. Like that, I don't like. You are a psychopath within the
Yeah,
police
there's-
force.
there's no
and that is
explanation.
terrifying
No.
to have.
Yeah.
I was listening to like a police officer talking, like one of the interviews, and it was like, when you put the handcuffs on, that's game.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, how you gonna put the handcuffs on and then you try to do more damage? They can't do anything when when the handcuffs are
What's
on.
the point of having the handcuffs,
Exactly.
bro? If you still need to apparently restrain someone,
You can't
is that
even-
not enough restraint
You can't
now at
even
this
run.
point, or?
Yeah, you can't even run properly with the handcuffs on. What can you do? Honestly,
And let's not forget, like, he had 2 people already on his body as well, like 2 cops on his body. So it's like you didn't need that third person on his neck. It's crazy, honestly.
madness, bro.
But I think, yeah, so that's all definitely just raised and highlighted a lot of issues, not only in America, but in the whole world kind of as well, even at home here. And yeah, what do we think of the response of people from that?
I think obviously it's now all over the news that there's been all the rioting and looting and all that, but it really just started as peaceful protesting, right?
Yeah.
Now, I think the protesting is perfect.
Yeah.
Like, you should protest, right? And Black Lives Matter, clearly. If you want to argue that, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
check yourself.
Yeah.
Honestly, right? I think Pastor Carl Lenz had a great sermon on that from a couple years ago, and that clip's been making its rounds and everything, and I think we'll play in a bit. But basically, it's like the protesting is cool. Do that peacefully. The rioting and looting it's not right, but
But you can understand why.
part of me, I'm like,
Yeah.
sometimes you got to yell a bit louder, right? And if you're not going to hear me when I say Black Lives Matter, then you're going to hear me when I say your police cars don't.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
No, for
Your
real.
buildings don't. CNN doesn't matter. Target doesn't matter. Funniest video is that old lady trying to defend Target. Do you guys see
the
this?
Defending
one on the
Target,
wheelchair?
Bro, she's on a. You see this?
I think I did
She's
a
on
little
an
bit.
electrical wheelchair. Yeah, and she's like got a knife out and she's like trying to stab people.
Yeah.
And someone comes up to
Bro.
her with a fire extinguisher,
And then just
puts her
goes
out.
up.
But I was just like, you're trying to defend a multi-billion-dollar corporation
doesn't care about
bro,
you.
even
That doesn't know
Target.
you.
Do you hear what Target said afterwards? They're like, we don't really care. Bro, they're like, it's fine. We stand with black people.
Yeah.
Right. Which I have another whole theory about all these brands coming out and
Yeah,
saying, like,
yeah, yeah.
Black
Yeah.
Lives Matter. Because,
Nike,
yeah, it's important to say Black Lives Matter, but also say police brutality is bad. Because none of them are willing to say that.
Targeting that side of it.
But they're just, oh yeah, true. It's such a tough one as well because every time I think about these things and it's bigger, bro. We gotta do something.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Oh, chair went down in it. So we gotta do something properly. You get what I mean? Because yes, I know we protest, we do this, we do that, but then it stops. And then after that, the system still remains the same. Like we spoke before, we gotta break the system, we gotta change the system. Everything goes back to the system. Yeah, this situation has been happening since when? You get what I'm saying? It goes back then as well. And until today, it's still going on. Police brutality been going on for ages. We can give you so many different scenarios, you know?
Bro, yeah, that's the thing. Like, sometimes we talk about, oh, the cops went in this apartment, killed someone, whatever. And I'm like, wait, is that person or is that person? Like, there's just such a long list of names at this
Yeah,
point,
yeah.
So
right?
it's so
Yeah.
much.
You got 12-year-old boys that were playing cops and robbers get killed. Oh, we thought he was carrying a gun.
Yeah.
And that's when honestly I was like, man, like, and this is a question that we don't know the answer to right now, but what can we actually do to actually tackle this system? You know what I'm saying? Because we're going to do this for 2 weeks, and then after that, everything goes back, and then another situation arises, and then same thing begin to happen. But what can we actually put in, you know, what can we actually plan and execute that plan to say, okay, cool, you know, we can actually kind of see an improvement in this. There has not been improvement at all, man.
Yep.
You get what I'm saying?
Bro, that's the crazy thing. It's like, this is the same fight that people have been having for literally hundreds of years, decades at least, right? Like, I mean, since the 60s when laws changed and stuff like that, it's still the same fight over and over and over
I
again.
think
And it's
I'll
like,
probably get into it as well after what me and you were actually talking
Yeah.
about yesterday. But even doubling back to like the protesting, I was listening to Trevor Noah, and he was saying something pretty interesting. He's like, "Yo, how can protesting like actually ever be right? Yeah, like if you're respecting the way I'm protesting, you actually probably don't give a damn about what I'm protesting about. If you're comfortable, like." Oh, no, do your little thing over there, cuz.
true.
Yeah. Okay, cool. You do. And then you're living your life peacefully. It's not affecting you. You don't care about what they're trying to protest about. You know what I mean? So it's like what they're protesting against is so inherently wrong that they actually have to be that loud about it at this point. You know what I mean? It's getting crazy, getting out of hand, whatever. But it's like, what did you expect? What did
Yeah.
what do you want? What
Yeah.
like they've said as well. They tried to kneel down
Yeah.
and peacefully protest then. No one cared and everyone was getting mad at that. And now you want
How wild is that? People got mad about kneeling on a
Kneeling.
Bro, it made
This
me
was something peaceful,
This is going to get
you
into
know?
what we're saying about America's trash, but they actually care so much more about honoring their country, patriotism, and their flag than they do about the people that live
the
there.
people,
bro.
yeah.
But
And
man,
that's the thing, like with rioting, you know, the whole concept and the idea behind it is like to bring attention to something that's important to the people. You know, if we feel passionate about something, we're going to go into the streets, we're going to march, we're going to go to the, you know, the buildings where all the so-called important people are, people who are going to be passing the laws and all that stuff. They've been doing this for how many years now? How many decades have people been going into the streets with signs, you know, doing it, you know, in a peaceful way? But it's like nothing has changed. So why would you expect people now to be like, okay, you know, you killed one of our own, let's be peaceful about it. You haven't heard their voices before. So what makes you think you're going to hear their voices now? I mean, the whole looting and stuff, like I'm not for that. And I think like, yeah, it's damaging to also black businesses and stuff.
Yeah.
But if that's how they feel like they can get their message across, because they're being heard, even here in Australia, like
That's the thing.
it's being shown in the news. Like no one can say
hate-
that we don't know anything about it.
Now, there's a whole bunch of conspiracy theories around the rioting as well. Have you
Yeah.
seen all
oh
these
no,
videos
it's
of
not even a conspiracy theory. Some of these bro,
No, so
Yo,
obviously
some of them are
the
like
undercover cop that's
Oh,
going
yeah.
around
Yeah.
smashing windows. Did you see the
bricks?
pallet of bricks, bro? Who drops off a pallet of bricks in the middle of the city during this time?
during riots, protesting. Who's going to be trying to do construction?
Yeah, so somebody dropped off a pallet
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
like single bricks, unwrapped everything. What do you think? People are rioting. Obviously, they're going to grab them as well, start
And
chucking them.
throw
So you're encouraging it. Like, who's honestly bringing those bricks in a pallet form
Yeah.
during this time?
So they're just trying to make it worse. They're trying to escalate the situation.
Honestly, and that honestly, that's not beyond. Like, I don't think that's beyond the government or whatever powers that be to pull some game
100%,
like that. You know what I mean?
So going back to what Ma was saying just before, yeah, the message is being heard, right? Obviously, everyone's going out, everyone's posting on social media, big time celebrities are coming out. The message is being heard. People know what the message is, but the problem is there's nothing that's being done about the message. You get what I'm saying? It's like you're crying out for help. It's like, yeah, I can hear you crying out for help, but I'm not helping you.
Yep.
That's the problem,
Yeah.
right? Because like I said, everyone knows. Everyone is crying out. Everyone is putting it out there. Everyone's saying Black Lives Matter. Everyone is saying it. You can't say, oh, we didn't hear the message, so we can't do anything about it. No, you heard the message. You just choose not to do anything about it. And the system
Yeah.
does not support your message.
I
You know
think
what
it's
I'm
that.
saying?
I think it's they heard, and then you get a president like Donald Trump who exasperates the situation by the types of words he uses.
Donald.
Yeah.
I think the guy's a headache, man. Actually, a headache.
That really is
Honestly.
what, like 2 months ago when we started talking about like America, that's what true. I was like,
How
yeah.
is
So
this
when we
such a
started that whole
shit?
America isn't that great thing, we were just thinking in terms of like, look at the president they elected, look at all this, like, and now it's like, well, look at this situation, look at how all the different facilities have handled it, and like, what was the tweet? It was like, I had put on my story because he had tweeted out like, these thugs, blah blah blah, that are rioting. Once the looting starts, the shooting starts. So I put it on my story on
Yeah,
Instagram,
yeah.
and I was like, come on, man, you don't need a catchphrase for everything.
Yeah.
I didn't know. I thought he came up with it. Yeah.
but it
Some-
was actually a reference
It's
to
a
One of my
reference to
white
the
friends
thing, yeah.
messages me. He's like, "Oh, do you know where this is from?" And I thought he was talking about like, where did Trump say this? I was like, oh yeah, he put it on his Twitter. And he was like, nah, bro, this
The
is like a
phrase, yeah.
60s racist phrase and stuff.
yeah.
And I was like, surely you know what you're doing.
100%.
Like, you
Man.
can't play ignorant on every little thing.
Yeah.
He knows, bro.
I think even doubling back before the catalyst to what has happened now, even leading up as well with the racist Karen in Central Park.
Oh, yeah.
And
Yeah.
then
Oh my God, we forgot about that.
nah,
Yeah.
bro, that's
It
back
happens
to
all
back.
the
That was
It literally just
dirty. That was like
happens.
This is where,
disgusting
okay, because
behavior.
Joshy actually corrected us very nicely on the past episode about ignorance and people are unaware. Everyone's aware. You know what I mean? I actually
Bro, she
gonna
tried to weaponize that.
exactly,
Yeah.
bro. That shows that you understand a particular
so
privilege,
crazy.
bro.
The way she was holding her dog, she was willing to kill her dog for
Honestly,
that.
the dog
Yeah.
was like being strangled.
man. Like, what are you doing?
bro, that is a very, very
evil.
You're
That's
aware.
evil.
Yeah, you are very aware of what your words can
yeah,
do
what it
and
can do,
what
yeah.
what the current state is, and not even current
What was
state.
her
What the
statement
state
after
is.
that?
Oh,
was
her
some
statement that she put out. I don't
nonsense.
even know.
Bro, you know what's the worst thing about this whole thing? Yeah, is that if we don't film it, then we lose the case.
Yeah, because that's his word again.
Yeah, in that situation, if he did not film it, because I think I read a little bit about it. If the cops were to pull up, they're straight away running in, tackling the guy, and all those
sure,
things.
yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Because like, oh snap, we got a call from this lady, and you know she sounds like she's panicking, she's under attack. The police pull up, they're not gonna come up to you peaceful, like, hey mate, are you know, why are you doing this? Why are you doing that? No, they're coming in to tackle you, bruv.
Imagine
You know what I mean?
Forbes.com releases an article, 3 things Amy Cooper did in Central Park to damage her reputation and career.
She got fired or something too, yeah.
That's it.
Bro, like Forbes wrote an article about you're finished, Daddy.
Yeah, nah. Oh, no, yeah, she's definitely done now. Everyone knows that.
I think she was already fired.
Bro, let me
yeah.
even tell you how wild this even gets, man. Because I was hot as after seeing that. Yeah. For one, one thing it highlights is like, you know, so many people act like they don't know what's going on or they don't understand, you know, what the current state is. But Amy Cooper had a very like clear and open understanding, a distinct understanding of what is happening. Yeah. And you can't try to tell me that she's the only one. I'm not a fool. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
You can't tell me
Everybody
she's the only one that knows that. You know what I mean? But yo, the way that this fam, because everyone obviously, like even with the guy in Minnesota that owned he saw some young black guys working out in the gym in a shared office
yeah.
space.
saw that.
And he was like questioning them, like, "Who are you? You don't have a right to be here. What's your business here?" Blah blah. Anyways, there were tenants there as well. They have offices in the same space. Yeah, the guy lost his lease, right? And yeah, so like even now you see like he obviously had he's lost his mind with all that, yeah. And then everyone attacked his LinkedIn and all that, his business page, everything's off. Now with the Amy Cooper, I was like, all right, let me see what Guanya. I searched her name. There's obviously many other Amy Coopers in the world, yeah. Tell me why all of them now have to put in their LinkedIn bio, I'm not the Central Park Amy Cooper, blah, blah, blah. Bro, like
Oh my god.
it's just
I understand why you
yeah,
do
100
that,
yeah,
like-
no, but that's what I'm saying. That's what they've had to do now because of someone's ignorance,
Yeah.
bro.
I
Like,
I don't
it's
mind
just-
that.
Yeah, no,
I don't
but
mind
they
that.
have
No,
to type
yeah,
or
you know why? Because every black person and every Arab person and every other minority has to go, I'm not like
Yeah, no,
the rest
I'm
of my
not definitely.
race.
Yeah, she had to.
So
They
if
have to
only
do it,
you
yeah.
have to go, I'm not like the rest of the
Yeah.
Amy Coopers. That's okay. I'm okay with that.
Man,
That's crazy.
but no,
That
it's
is
it's
crazy.
wild, man.
But the easy thing about that situation is they can legit just change the name.
What their name?
No, listen, like because
Yeah.
you said
Facts.
I'm not
Facts,
the
facts,
Amy
facts,
Cooper
facts.
from thing.
Yeah.
But when we out in public, we can't change
What are you
nothing.
gonna change,
Think
bro?
about it. But
Sure.
when they go
Just
out in
use your middle
public,
name for a couple days. I'm Amy Marie. Okay.
Yeah. No one knows.
True that.
but when we go out in public, we can't say I am not like the others.
I'm not black.
Yeah.
Yeah, wait, who you trying?
Carlos is there like, you black? No.
No. Nah,
You blind.
it's crazy.
Do you
man.
want to play since we're talking about the protests and stuff, do you want to play the Killer Mike, what he said while on news? So basically him, Atlanta's mayor, Keisha Bottoms, T.I., and somebody else went and spoke in front of the news. They had what's it called? Press conference.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
And Killer Mike delivered one of the greatest
I got
on the spot speeches.
Shout out
Shout out to Killer Mike. That was our first episode.
Yeah,
we
I
shouted
saw-
him out
yeah,
as well.
Yeah,
And he's still great.
I was just looking at that episode before.
All right, I'll play. Yeah,
Yep.
should probably put my volume up. Hey. Yeah. All right.
Ahead of it before an officer does some stupid shit.
Sorry, explicit.
We need to get ahead of it. That's my recommendation to my mayor and my chief. Let's get a review board. Let's get ahead of it and let's give them power. We don't need an officer that makes a mistake once, twice, 3 times, and finally he kills a boy on national TV, and the next thing you know, the country is burning down. We don't need a dumbass president repeating what segregationists said. When you start looting, we start shooting. But the problem is some officers black and some people gonna shoot back. And that's not good for our community either. I love and respect you all. I hope that we find a way out of it because I don't have the answers, but I do know we must plot, we must plan, we must strategize, organize, and mobilize. Thank you for allowing me some time to speak. I'd like to appreciate our chief.
He killed it. He came on at the start and he was like, I don't want to be here. I do not want to be here.
We don't have to be even.
Yeah.
We're not meant to be here, yeah. Because all right, me and you were talking yesterday as well, right? We were saying, so the protests that you had during like civil rights movement and stuff like that, right? There was a clear within the law, there's a clear targeting.
Yes.
On black people, right? The law itself, yeah, which is meant to be, looking after all the citizens of the country that are living inside of that, that want to abide by that law, right? There was a clear targeting against black people with that, right? Civil rights movement changed that, yeah.
Yes.
So it got the laws, abolished, and all these kind of different things changed, right? Now, yeah. Why is your thing keep? Now, right? The fight is not directed at trying to change laws.
The laws are not wrong.
The laws aren't wrong. Yeah, the laws tell you love everyone, and everyone
Everyone's
has a right,
equal.
human rights. You know what I mean? Everyone's equal. All of that is good. It's good. All that kind of stuff, right? So now it's not even you're not trying to fight laws. You're trying to fight mentalities that are ingrained within people now, man. It's like this is not you. Who are you? Who do you go to now? Who are you trying to? Because it's not even like I was saying, even as well. The fight is not like exactly, how can I even word this in the most sensitive way, man? Like it's not like black against white, yeah. It could be your neighbor that you actually thought you were cool with this whole time that actually still holds these things. It's like the enemy is everywhere when it comes to racism, bro. It's like we can't try to target the law anymore because, like you said, the law is meant to be helping everyone. The law is meant to say that everyone's equal at this point. So right now, yeah, the fight is,
and that's what it is. If what you're crying out for does not fit in with the law, does not fit in with the system, then nothing's going to be done. You get what I'm saying? So it's the same as, as what do you call it? When we talk about police brutality, when we talk about these things, whatever, cool. Yeah. If what you're crying out for, if you're crying out for help, if you're crying out for, can you guys help us within this community because this community goes through poverty and so on, yeah? If the system does not support what you're asking for, we are not going to change that.
Yeah. So that's the thing. So when Dr. King and all those people marched in the 60s, it was because like there was the system, so quote unquote, did not support that. Like, white man, you get a fair trial. Black man, you might not, right?
Yeah.
Now it's not like that. It says everyone gets a fair trial, right? So there's actually nothing broken about the system. So what people are asking for isn't different to what the system claims to provide.
That's what it is, man. It's
so now you're trying to fix people's brains, and it's like, how? Because like in the group that's meant to protect and provide and serve and whatever the community, you have people that have slipped in that are American, but they do not align with the values of your law. Yeah. Right. So
I saw a
what
post,
do you do?
I saw a post. The reason you don't see some cops shut down KKK rallies is because it's the same reason why you don't see Hannah Montana and Miley Cyrus in the same room. It's like, yo, I'm moving mad.
But that's what it is, because that's what I was thinking is like, I truly believe it's a culture that does not support black people, which is why black people are actually not being supported. Kind of thing. And
let's even now, I don't want to take away from the fact of clearly what is going on against the black culture here, but it's also it's a domino effect, man, because you have a particular superior culture, right? Yeah. And is racist or oppressive to cultures below them that they deem are below them, right? And then like culture to culture, there's a flow on effect of race. Like, you can't tell me that. I think you guys understand what I'm trying. Like you have the. I'm just gonna straight up and say it, bro, because this is it's at this point, man. I don't care, bro. Yeah, you have the white culture, yeah, and white and Caucasians, yeah, and they're racist to everyone after that, right? Not every single person, obviously, yeah. Like, don't be dumb, don't take words and run away with it, right? Not every single person from a white culture, but racism has definitely served white culture more than it has anyone in the world, any other culture in the world, yeah. And then from that, you have racism that.
Do you realize it wouldn't still be around if it didn't serve them?
100%, yeah. Whoa, yeah. At this, honestly, yeah.
Like if there was actually no win from this, they wouldn't keep doing it.
Yeah. like that shows the awareness of how like we said, the system's not broken; it's working perfectly fine.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So yeah, the racism flows from white people to racist to Asians and everyone else, and then Asians racist to Africans, because we've seen some madness going on in
Absolutely.
China, bro. Madness, yeah. So it's like, yeah, man. That's just it's such a massive thing that it's you don't even know
Yeah.
where to fight this or where to target this thing. Like where can you actually go and
Exactly. And that's the thing. If we're saying like the system is fine, it's not broken, now that means we're referring that the problem is within the mentality of the people. The problem is the people. So now we've got to go out and try and change, this group, we've got to try and change their mentality on how they feel towards us, this group. And that just seems like that's something that's just
How do you
completely,
achieve
like,
that?
you can't.
Wait,
you really can't.
So you guys are saying the problem is not the system, it's the mentality?
the system is not like
No,
the
no.
system
No,
says
The laws in
the
place
laws,
are good.
They say everyone is fair.
but I'm
Yeah,
saying,
it's meant to be.
where do you think this?
The gatekeepers of those laws and systems are not good, though.
And when I'm
that
saying the
makes sense,
system is
yeah.
not good, when I'm saying the system is fine, I'm saying it's working exactly how it's intended, which is against minorities.
Okay, okay,
Not-
yeah.
I'm saying it's not broken, like, let's try. Like, the system's working how it was intended
Yeah,
to work.
yeah.
Like, shout out to Carl Lentz and that. But, like, yeah, I think what really kind of, what's the word, man? What kind of really
Ignited.
ignite in me and made me something that's really just dawned on me is the fact that I wrote something down that I actually want to read afterwards, but what it's ignited in me is realizing now that this problem is everywhere. This is actually a everyone against racism problem, 100%. I don't want to. It's not watering
it's
down.
not a color thing.
Yeah, it's actually
Sorry, I was saying that yesterday. It was like, it's really weird that this is, as much as it is about people's skin color, it's not a color thing.
How so?
Like, because there's a lot of people that are not racist of every single background,
Yeah.
right? And so it's like everyone's mad at the people that are racist.
yeah.
Right?
Everyone
And
is mad.
Obviously, in this context, we're talking about Black Lives Matter.
yeah.
But it's like, as much as it is about color, it's not about color in the weirdest way.
In terms of the fight is not against a certain color or colors. The fight is against the people who are still.
That's the
holding
thing.
this,
It's
you know
not
what I mean?
the fight isn't against a color.
Yeah.
I agree that the fight is against the word and the people that but at the same time, if it's targeted at a one particular group, doesn't that mean it's about color?
Yeah. So right now it's kind of like this whole thing of like, how people have used the analogy of the burning houses and stuff like that, right? It's like this is the most the most severe issue and most important currently because you're seeing it in front of you all the time.
Yeah.
It's like this is why everyone is making it like this is why it's shown that it's a particular targeted movement right now.
Yes.
And we've seen it's like I said, these are catalysts, bro. It's just it's just growing and growing and growing. You're seeing it more. It's like that's why it's such a targeted thing right now. But you can't try to say that like Asians aren't facing racism against,
Yeah, but if you have to bring numbers and stats into it, a black person is stopped.
Yeah,
far more
absolutely,
than that.
definitely,
and
yes,
that's what
yeah.
I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. That okay, is that not about color?
But that comes down to the racist mentality
Yeah.
still at the end of the day as well, though.
Yeah, that's what I think. That's what I'm kind of saying. Where it's like it's not about color in that like the fight isn't against necessarily white people or against Asians or against Arabs or you know what I mean. It's just against people that are racist, and that doesn't have a color to it. It just
But it
happens that
to
most
be-
people are
it
oppressed by
happens
white
to be,
people.
Yeah.
historically.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was thinking in terms of like, okay, yeah, obviously like this issue that's going on and so on. But obviously the question to our people is, do we have to sort something out within our community before we can go ahead and tackle this bigger issue, which is the issue of racism and Black Lives Matter and so on? Like, do we first have to come together and sort out our things together before we can kind of go out there and start trying to face this issue? Because I feel like as a community, we are so separated. And then how can we go tackle the bigger problem or go tackle the system when all of us don't even get along together, though?
I don't think so. I don't think you have to agree on every single thing amongst you.
No, not agree,
know
but
that-
not agree, but it's more in terms of like supporting each other, number one, kind of thing. You know what I mean? helping each other, supporting each other's businesses, and so on. Like black people coming together before they can go ahead and tackle the bigger problem out there. But if me and you, if we don't support each other, then how can we go out there to tackle this big problem?
Are you talking about are you saying, so communities, let's just say Australia, for example, the black community, we need to be united first before we can go and advocate for something else?
Yeah, I'm asking, do we kind of need to come together first and sort out issues before we can go out there and try to tackle this big problem?
I don't think so.
Or is this the issue that pulls people together finally from within the community?
But at the same time, this
that.
issue's been going on. So why would it be now, though?
But that's the thing. So it's like this issue's been going on for too long, and people finally go, you know what? Let's put our differences aside from whatever we have within us to tackle this bigger thing, because that's not going to stop at all, and that's really important because that's taking away lives.
Yeah.
The differences between people is like, oh, you're not supporting businesses. You know, it's serious, right? You should be spending money within your community and that kind of stuff. Like not explicitly, right? But it's like. It's a good thing to do that, right? But it is more important to make sure that people aren't dying.
Yeah, it is. But then I was just thinking, because I think if you were to come together and go face this issue together and put your differences aside, I think you'll be able to make the noise is going to be enormous. You know what I'm saying?
Stronger decisions.
Yeah, stronger, and you guys will make a huge difference, kind of thing. Yeah,
I agree.
Because I truly don't believe this one issue is gonna be one of the issues where it's like, oh, okay, cool. Oh, it's my phone. It's gonna be one of the issues where it's like, okay, guys, legit, we had enough. Let's stop this whole thing. Because like we said before, this has been going on for years. Yeah, and then we just continue to go back to how things was as well.
I think as well, because of the current global landscape in terms of coronavirus as well, bro, it's too great of a in front of you. Like everything is just so wrong and such in a shaky place at this point that I don't think the world, no one is going to look past this, especially the younger generation, us and people after, younger than us, can never look past this and be like, let's just go back to normal. No one's going to be sitting comfortable, man. No one's going to be able to, trust governments to be able to properly take control and take care of people. No one's going to look at injustices and just be like, whatever. And even, bro, probably cops are kind of scared to apprehend people because they don't want, if this gets handled well and rightly in terms of prosecution, bro, there's going to be some
I was going to say,
pullback.
If this doesn't end up in all 4 cops doing jail time, serious jail time, it's going to descend into chaos even worse.
Yeah.
Nah, 100%,
it's
bro.
actually going to go even worse. Because, we were talking about, Carson and I were talking about this before you guys got here.
Rodney King.
About the, Rodney King riots and stuff in LA in 92, I think.
91,
92, I don't know. But basically it's he got beat and everything by police officers, caught on video. And then nothing happened until they acquitted all the officers involved, and they were like, no one's guilty. And then the city went into chaos.
Everyone lost it, bro.
Yeah.
But this is weird because it's this has happened before anyone was even arrested.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
People
just imagine.
I'm fed up.
Yeah. Exactly, man. That shows you it's breaking point, man. Someone even put out something that was like, yo, this shows you that the leaders would rather see the nation burn than try to prosecute their own.
Yeah.
So,
How wild is that?
That's mad.
something inherently wrong, man.
But
Think about it. My guy had time to go get a haircut between killing someone.
I think it was an old
And your
photo.
arrest.
They're
Oh.
saying it's a 5-year-old, from
What,
5
the
years
mugshot?
ago.
Hey,
photo,
I
but-
believe
so I
that
didn't
because
get
his
it.
hairline looks better in the
He looked
mugshot.
different.
He looked like a different man.
Yeah, he did.
That's what you're
So
saying.
I
Why does he
don't know.
look different or something?
Makes sense.
I think I want to play Carletz's clip just because.
Let's listen to it.
Yeah, let's talk about church response during this time.
Yeah, like that. I'm excited.
All right, Carletz.
Some people disagreed with me because I kept saying, do Black Lives Matter, yes or no? Yes, but. I'm like, there is no but. We disagree. Those are the same type of people that would have interrupted Jesus during the Sermon on the Mount. Jesus would have been like, blessed are the poor. No, Jesus, blessed are all people.
That's amazing.
Yeah, don't lie.
Since when does highlighting one issue disparage another? Are we not secure enough to be able to sit here and go issue by issue and just talk about one without disparaging another? Of course, all lives matter, but it's okay to say Black Lives Matter. What's wrong with you? This is not rocket science. All lives matter. No kidding. That's why we're saying Black Lives Matter, because until all lives matter equally, we need to focus on this.
Yeah.
Hey, he killed that.
Yeah,
He
wrong.
killed that. That's from a couple years ago, even.
Yeah, 2016. They put that up.
Wow.
And it's coming back around. But
Boys.
I think he is one of those. And to be honest, this is one thing I was saying this to my sister, where it's like during this period of time, especially the first few days after this happened, the only people I really saw in my life speaking up about this whole thing was church people.
Yeah.
I really didn't see it much from people outside the church. I don't know about you guys, your social media feeds, all that kind of stuff. But for me, I was actually kind of proud. I was like, this is good
Yeah.
Yeah.
that people.
There was one particular girl, straight away she was onto it, man. She was hot over this, man. So, and yeah,
Fair
I
enough.
and that's what we just spoke about this before the podcast, but
Yeah.
we'll obviously elaborate on it on here. Do we expect people to kind of come on and say Black Lives Matter or talk about the issue and
You
so
mean
on?
from the pulpit, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, I do. I expect it. I think it's not Christ-like if you don't. I think not just in America. I think it's a worldwide issue.
Yeah.
I think if you don't address it from the pulpit, you are doing a disservice. You're also if you're not aware of what's going on, then potentially you shouldn't really be on the pulpit right now.
and if you act like
And
it's
if
not
you,
aware,
and if
like
that's
it's
the
not
thing, if
normal,
you are aware and you don't
it's even worse.
talk about it, that's I don't know. And then like if you're not challenging your congregation regarding their prejudice and all that kind of stuff, then that's wrong. It's just I can't see a way in which you could convince me that no, we should keep this topic outside of the church.
Yeah, because
Yeah,
like one of you
yeah.
guys mentioned before, it's not like it's a political issue.
It's not.
So it's not like you're going, okay, I'm for these people, I'm for this certain group, political group, so that's why I'm standing for this. It's like, no, we care about people. And a lot of these churches, they have, I'll just speak on like the mega churches as well. They have Black people in their church amongst the white people as well. So it's like, how are you going to come and,
Your churches
not say
survive off
anything
people's
about it?
tithes
Yeah.
that look like the people that are dying.
Exactly. And it's like, how are you not going to say anything or at least stand up for them? Even though they're not the ones who are, amongst what's going on, the riots and stuff, they're still being affected by it because they're Black. You never know what they're experiencing when they step out of your church. So it's like, say something.
I think people shouldn't be scared and think that this is a conversation to shy away, like you said, that because this is a political. How can it be a political issue? Because politics and governments are meant to look after the people that are inside their country or the citizens of their country. So this is not something that is based, like we've said already, even just before, like the laws are in place that say everyone is equal, right? This can't be trying to target politics.
Yeah.
It just happens to be that people with these mindsets are in places of power.
Yeah.
So you are meant to challenge your congregations and and your friends and your people around you, your families, your workplaces, your colleagues, to get out. Like if you don't, you said it's a disservice if you don't bring up this conversation because. I've got something else I still want to talk about.
I think with like shoot, what the heck, my mind just went blank. But with America, what they seem to do a lot, right? And this part of the whole America's not that great thing is that like in Australia, if you're voting Labor or if you're voting Liberal, it's different, but it's not that different. You know what I mean? Like at the end of the day, I know that whoever's in charge really has good intentions for the people,
Yeah.
right? Like genuinely, and it's like the only differences really seem to be around taxes, around tax breaks, around all that kind of stuff, right? Whereas in America, it's like you are voting for a sect, right? And it's like if I voted, like for example, right now, if you meet someone, they say I voted Liberal or I voted Labor in Australia.
You don't go.
I don't think anything about them.
Yeah.
I just go, he voted Labor. Okay.
Yeah,
Right? But in
America, if you go, I voted Democrat. Oh, I'm a Republican.
Yeah.
That's a
Gang.
big. That's like it's gang wars, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's red and blue.
Yeah, yeah.
I
legit,
see you,
yeah.
brother. I see the
Yeah,
Bro,
I
streets.
feel you.
literally, right? So it's like we can't. We have this difference. We have this difference. We have this difference. And what one side of America, I don't even know which one's which, managed to do is they managed to go Black Lives Matter belongs to the other side,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Rather than Black Lives Matter
To all of us.
is a
kind of thing.
topic
Yeah.
that is very relevant because we have black people on both sides of that,
Exactly.
Yeah,
right?
let's all tackle
Exactly.
it together. Yeah.
And so it actually really matters that our black people stay alive because they are American.
Bro, if like,
Yeah.
yes, man, you're a party that represents Americans, and
Yeah,
you
it
you want
doesn't
to
make
say
sense.
that
Yeah.
the issue that affects some of your Americans is actually belongs to another
your
party.
side.
Clearly, you're not American. Then your party doesn't represent America. Then
Yeah.
your party represents a portion of America at that point in
The
time.
portion which you think is American,
Yeah,
which says
Yeah.
a lot.
I think it was bizarre when I think you brought it up last time, and I went and watched the Breakfast Club, the interview with Joe Biden, and how he was like,
Oh,
"If you don't vote for me, you're not black." And it's just like, what does like what?
Let's get into that, man.
It's just crazy. It's
That
like,
was
why?
the dumbest thing
Yeah.
ever. That was the dumbest thing ever. But all right, so I'm gonna relate this to the whole church thing, yeah, because so basically, Rich Wilkerson put up a post saying, for those that don't know, Rich Wilkerson Jr. is quite a famous pastor. He's the one that married Kim and Kanye, been involved with Kanye during his whole spiritual journey,
Christ.
let's say.
Yeah.
Dope guy, right? Puts up a post about like he's becoming aware of how little he spoke about racism from the pulpit, right? And how important it is that Black Lives Matter, right? And he's actually been dope. Like you can see the change in the guy. And like this morning, he put up a post saying like I've lost so many followers and stuff, but it's
Damn.
the right thing to do is to talk about it, right? So I don't really care. Anyway, so he put up a post a couple of days ago and saying Black Lives Matter, and then I'm not gonna say the name, but another pastor who's incredibly influential and incredibly a Trump supporter replies in the comments saying, yes, this is so terrible. This kind of racism shouldn't happen. Just like the racism from Joe Biden that said, if you don't vote for me, you ain't black. And I was like, because I was up early in the morning and I was just looking at this and I was like, no one had replied to him yet or anything. And I was like, surely you're not going to use this kind of thing to try and push a political agenda.
Yeah.
Like, surely you don't think... Now, what Joe Biden said was stupid.
Yep.
Like, just straight up stupid. Like, if you don't vote for me, you're not black, right? Like, what the heck? Right? And the crazy thing is, no one told him to say that.
Yeah.
Like, no one was even going in that direction. He just kind of whipped it up out of nowhere. Right?
That's like
But when you watch it, you can tell he was joking and he's talking to Charlemagne, but it's stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just stupid regardless, right? Like, you're running for presidency and all that stuff, which, again... My whole thing of America's not that great because you keep having to pick
candidates,
between two
evils,
dummies,
bro.
bro.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
year after year
Yeah,
after
yeah, yeah,
year,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
And I'm like, honestly, I don't like
Bro,
Trump
this
at
is
all.
a conversation.
I don't know who I would vote for ever.
Honestly.
But my whole thing was what Biden said was
Yeah.
terrible. But for you to try and come and go, that
To
is
use
equivalent
it,
to
yeah.
a man putting his knee on another black man's neck for 9 minutes,
Madness.
telling you I can't breathe,
It's not.
and then they die.
Yeah.
And you're like, that's bad, that's bad. That's literally like saying all lives matter.
yeah. Yeah.
It's literally the same
Basically,
thing.
yeah.
That's like me walking into a cancer ward with a sniffle and going, I need a doctor too.
Yeah. There's a more pertinent issue at hand right
Like
now.
you're being a jackass. Like
Yeah.
don't do that here. People are dying.
Yeah.
So yeah, what do we expect from friends in the church? Like we said, definitely what. Yeah,
I was
speak right at all.
gonna before friends. What about big time celebrities that have such an impact, especially black celebrities? Let's go with big names like Jay-Z and all those guys who actually can make a difference.
Yeah. I think
Do we expect them to kind of come out and say
absolutely.
something?
Absolutely.
But this is what I'm also thinking. Sorry.
ahead.
Okay. Them saying something, right? It raises awareness. Yeah. But them saying something doesn't change anything.
no, I
Okay.
I think when you're in a position of
Hold-
these
hold on,
powers,
Yeah.
But they're in position of power.
Let
That's
me
what
let
I'm
me
saying.
let me say, because everyone knows what's going on. Everyone knows, or everyone sees that most people, majority of people think this is wrong. If you're thinking everyone else is crazy in the room, you're probably the one that's insane. Yeah. So everyone,
Jay-Z bar.
is that Jay-Z? Big man. So everyone sees that everyone is hurt about
Yes.
what's going on. Yeah. You don't need the celebrity to bring that to your attention first and foremost, right? Because it's there, it's out there. Yeah, it's a problem that you already understand. Yeah. they are powerful and in a position of influence and have, you know, monetary resources, people resources, I would actually be more hurt and angry if they're not using that for groundwork. Yeah. Because you have your friends already posting and telling you what's going on your social media. A celebrity suddenly talking about it doesn't now
bring more media.
it doesn't
It actually brings more media attention to the celebrity.
100%.
It's like, oh,
yeah.
Yep.
It doesn't now qualify the issue. The issue was already an issue before the celebrity spoke on it, right? So if they're not using that position to make change on the ground, that's a problem then.
Yeah.
Like, you know, especially if they claim all of this positivity, you know, all of this kind of stuff in whatever, you know what I mean? Then that's a problem. But like I actually mentioned before, you know, we have some actors who are getting targeted, like the actor from Top Boy, Ashley, forgot his last name. Ashley Walters. Duchesne from Top Boy, getting bullied and targeted. Getting bullied and targeted. Some people only know him by Duchesne, right? Bullied and targeted, saying, yo, why aren't you saying something? Why aren't you saying something? But the guy is active on the ground doing these things. He's making opportunities for people, yeah?
No, I think that's cool.
It's like... He's like, bro, I don't even have the energy to try to say something at this point because I'm too busy I'm actually making changes on the ground. You know what I mean?
I think
like
that's fine.
Yeah.
Do something like I don't think everything you do has to be in front of social media or in front of the internet or whatever. But like I feel like there should be at some point some knowledge that you are doing something, because if it's too silent around you for too long, people actually might not know, sorry. You know what I mean? Like, as in, people could, like, for example, did you guys watch The Last Dance?
Yes.
Again.
All right, so there's this whole thing about like Michael Jordan, and people were like,
oh, sorry,
bro,
Michael Jordan documentary, fire.
Yeah.
For a second, I thought you talk about a movie, but then I was like, let's talk about the documentary. I've got that quick.
Yeah,
come on.
Yeah, sorry. I haven't watched it.
Yeah, the docu.
Yeah. There was a whole point where people were like mad at him because he never said anything about politics, right? And there was like some racist candidate coming up in Chicago and stuff.
He didn't support the black.
And then like I don't know what happened, but basically Michael Jordan didn't say anything about it, and they were kind of like, is he only not doing that because of his commercial ties and brand deals and all that kind of stuff? So I think it's important that, and he didn't ever say anything about it, which was really whack to me. And his thing was like, oh, I'm not a
but that's but I was watching that, I was like, I wanted him to go support him as well, because that's like the first black person that's whatever, yeah. And people were mad at him. It was like, yo, Michael Jordan, like, it would have made a huge difference if you went to back this person out, because everybody would have jumped on board. And the black guy ended up losing. I forgot his name, but he ended up losing the election. I mean that. And then obviously, black people came.
I think it's like, that's what I'm saying. Sorry, it's like in terms of people don't need to know that you're doing something if you're a big celebrity, like a Jay-Z or whatever. But it is important to let them know. They don't need to know, but it does add a difference. Like, you know, when you see Jay-Z like actually just different boss moves, right? Just called the mayor.
Yeah, he moved on different moves.
Right? It's like, if you can do that, do that. And Jay-Z didn't even say that he did that. The mayor said, Jay-Z called me today. Right? And like, that's fine. If that's the way that they're going to find out, fine. Like, Jay-Z doesn't need to upload to his Insta story. Like,
just had a call with the mirror today.
Like,
but that's what I'm saying though. Some people are making moves, but they don't announce that they're making moves. So, but the thing is, do they need to announce that they made this certain move for us to be like, oh yeah, you're supporting us?
I think at this point, it's worry about yourself, bro. If you're hot about this, you're posting, you're mad at people not posting, but at your workplace, are you standing up for people? At your family dinners, when your parents are saying something that's ignorant, are you calling them out for it?
But that's exactly what I'm saying.
What at this point, that's what that's actually what I was going to say a while back. That's the realization I've come to. Yeah, I'm not gonna be mad at other people for whatever their mentality is. Yeah, check myself. You know what I mean? Like, am I adding to this problem by being silent or by not calling things out? Like, that's what I've realized now. I'm gonna call it out all the time from now on, man. Like, I can't be I refuse to be a part of the issue. I refuse to, and this is something that I mentioned as well. I've been saying it to a lot of people now. Like, sure, I don't get offended by a racist remark or an ignorant statement. Yeah, that's me. Okay, for me to laugh it off or to be like, yeah, whatever, you know what I mean? Just because it doesn't offend me, that's a problem, because I don't know who they're going to go to next.
Like, it's cool when I did it around Daniel.
Exactly. I can't enable. I refuse to enable that. You know what I mean? It's like Yeah, like we would. It would be amazing if every celebrity in a point of a position of influence and power speaks on these things. But sometimes you got to just make sure you yourself are doing it. Yeah, like you want them to speak on it to affect everyone in the world, and really make a change in the mentalities of everyone in the world. But like I said, close at home, you're not. That celebrity's influence is probably not even going to reach your next door neighbor that you've let say whatever. You know what I mean?
But then it's also like they do have that platform where they can reach your neighbor.
Your platform is even more powerful than that celebrity, though. Relationship is more powerful than any influence that the celebrity has, though.
I don't know. I don't know. Celebrities have a very big impact on people. Celebrities are where they're at because of the people. Celebrities have the platform that they have because of the people. You know what I mean? And so I understand when people come out of the woodworks and they're like, "Hey, okay, let's just use B. Simone for an example. She's getting dragged because of like a lot of different things, but one of the things is because people are like, oh, you're not supporting, what's going on, you're not putting up anything. But for her, she's like, I'm actually in the front line. I'm in these streets actually riding with people. I'm doing all these things. I'm just not showing it. But it's like, you can't blame the fans for being like, we support you. We follow your every step on social media. So it's like, okay, she went quiet because, she's doing stuff in the streets, but it's like, we want to know what you're doing as well.
That's how weird an obsession.
But that's where I disagree. That's why I disagree with the whole thing.
That's how weird obsession, that's what I mean.
Bro. No, it's not. I get it. I get it totally. You know why? I get it. See, no one does that for Jay-Z. Right? But people do it for B. Simone. Why? Because B. Simone's an internet celebrity. That's how she came up. We know you because of Instagram.
Yeah.
Jay-Z, we know you because of raps. We know you because of business deals now. We know you because of all this stuff, right? And he also is from an era that wasn't very social. There was no social media when he popped off.
Yeah.
Right? So it's like, we don't hold him to that standard, but it is fair to hold her to that standard. It is fair to hold.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Right? That's why people said that about J. Cole and Kendrick as well. Who was it? No Name. She tweeted out like, your favorite rappers make albums all about being black and the black experience, but they haven't tweeted anything about this whole thing, right? Now, granted, the next day we saw J. Cole's in
they're too busy writing.
J. Cole's in the protest.
And protesting,
yeah, which is cool and stuff.
My guy lost his phone probably, bro. Yeah.
But I understand why people go out like a B. Simone or a DC Young Fly if in that situation, right? Because it's like, you are an internet celebrity.
Yeah.
Like, if you're gonna talk about those celebrities, then yeah. But then if you're gonna talk about friends, then that's why I disagree with it. Because this is why I agree with Daniel. It's like, you calling yourself out is more impactful than you putting on social media.
Yeah.
Right? Because you can put on social media, then you cannot do anything about it. You might not call yourself out in those situations. So it's like, what was the point of that? You just in your bed, let me just repost that. And then that's where it stops. For me, that's not impactful compared to, because most people are just gonna scroll through your thing anyways, bro. No one's even gonna do anything after that, yeah? So I think it's more impactful that's why if my close friends don't post it or whatever, I don't really care, because behind the scenes you could be doing something, bro. You know what I'm saying? You could be calling out people for that. You could be actually doing, and like, we expect people to post things on social media. Like, just because you do that doesn't mean the other person has to post what they do. Like, example, Jay-Z had the meeting with the governor. He didn't even say anything about that. You get what I'm saying?
But I have no expectation that Jay-Z would. The guy tweets like once every 7 years. Like, literally. I'll find his old tweets. I think it's like...
But this is where this is where the part we spoke last time when we spoke about should you post your partner on social media, yeah? If you post every single day and then you don't post when you're with your missus, there's okay, maybe there's a problem.
What's going on?
But if you don't post at all,
true,
yeah, and then you don't post it when you're with her, that makes sense.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? It's the same in this situation, yeah.
Who is blowing your phone up like that? Is it your children again or something?
They said bring the milk home.
Look at this. I'm looking at Jay-Z's Twitter. June 16, 2017.
June 16.
December 1, 2018. That's nothing since.
But that's what I'm saying though, yeah. You can't expect something from someone that's not a social media person, that does not post much. Now, how can you say, hey, man, you're my friend. How come you're not calling out these things? Like, bro, look at my last post. What are you saying? You get what I'm saying?
People are funny though when they like start kind of expecting things as well. Like sometimes it's like it's not that you shouldn't call out celebrities if they're not taking part. It's just sometimes the celebrities have funny responses, like J. Cole and stuff. Somebody tweets out today, J. Cole was out with Fayetteville, where he's from. If that's not the dopest, I don't know what is. At Wale, make us proud. right? while they responded, he goes, I'm sick of a lot of you acting like Yo Messiah was the only one outside SMD.
Bro,
He did not care because he was out as well,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
He's like, I just didn't post the photo. Which
Yo
That's fair,
Messiah.
That's what I'm saying,
Yeah,
bro.
no, there's definitely a lot of celebrities who are out there and they're still being called out, but they're just staying quiet about it. They're like, I'm doing something that's more impactful than the person who's calling me out, so I'm not even gonna bother. I'm not gonna respond. I'm just gonna leave it at that. So it's like, I don't know. You know, people are always gonna complain about something, the internet. But yeah, if you've got that platform, use it. Oprah, where you at? Where you
Wait,
at,
has she
sis?
said nothing? Bro, she's
Where you at, sis?
Nah, I'm telling you,
interesting.
Oprah Ryan
She
didn't
is
say no.
interesting.
There ain't no connection.
But
in the mountains,
but
leave her
the
alone.
reality is that it'd be cool if we can say something, you
Yeah,
know,
yeah,
whatever.
definitely.
Because, you know, again, social media is a platform to express your opinions on things, right? You don't. It's not a platform where you want to say things because people want to hear it. No, you say what you want to say.
Yeah.
Be Kanye, bro. If you think this is wrong, if you think this is right, I don't care. Like, that's your account, right? So I feel like if that's on your mind, then just go ahead and say it. If it's not, then don't say none.
I think something that's definitely made me realize I have been
almost maybe oblivious to. Not oblivious because you just don't know where to go to resources to understand more. Yeah, but what's going on here as well, right? When I started doing some research, man, and looking into like some statistics as well, against like First Nations and Indigenous Australian people, man, like I'm pretty sure
The mistreatment is
the
real.
mistreatment's mad, and like I'm pretty sure it's said probably wrong, but it was regardless, it's high. Even if it's, I'd say the stat that I saw, the highest youth suicide rate. I think pretty sure it said in the world. Even if it said Australia, that's a problem in its own. Yeah, maybe fact check me right now. Yeah,
Of who?
for First Nations people and like Indigenous Australians. Yeah,
Australians.
like
Yeah.
yeah. You want to maybe double check? Yeah.
What is it? Highest youth suicide in the world?
Yeah, or Australia maybe, or. But what this is all brought to me, I read out what I wrote down. Yeah, it's a bit long. I'll find that first though.
No, you keep talking because I'm gonna take a while.
Gonna take your time, innit? All right. I was like we said, it's not like we live in a rosy place where this does not happen. For one, thank God that it doesn't happen as outrightly and in our faces in our nation, yeah? But yet, none of us want to speak on what's actually happening to our Indigenous Australians and First Nation people. Though we take action on racism swiftly here and see genuine attempts at stepping in the right direction, it doesn't take away from the fact that people still encounter racism here. We can't say that's America, what's that got to do with us? It has everything to do with us. How can me, myself personally, how can I sit silent when I see people die every day because they look like me? For me to be comfortable with seeing that is acting actually on a form of privilege that I have to live in Australia. You know, we have to all call these things out even though they aren't happening to us, because God forbid we ever experience it to that extremity here.
Yeah.
We have to speak about it here before there also actually becomes here. You know what I mean? To how much you're seeing it in front of your face. It's we definitely still have that going
Yeah, we
on here.
do.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
Here is not there just yet, but it can just as easily become there.
Be that.
It's like we have to also now start like, I've really been convicted to be like, nah, I need to start looking into like what's going on, man.
Yeah, like it's happening in our backyard. We just, aren't
it's wild,
aware
man.
to it. Yeah.
And I was watching like Chris Rock talk about, racism, and I don't know if stand up or monologue or something, but in some places racism doesn't happen in front of you, it happens behind the doors. Right? And maybe this is side that we're living in right now. Maybe it's behind the doors, it's not in front of us, yeah. But there's also certain places around the world where it will happen in front of you.
Yep.
Yeah. So example, here in Australia, it's like you can go to the club and you could be black or certain color. I'm just gonna go black, just any color, yeah. And they'll be like, "Sorry guys, not tonight."
Not tonight.
Yeah, that's the
the nicest way to let you down. Sorry, lads.
Sorry, guys.
We're full.
No, not tonight.
Cheers. Nope.
Yeah, like
They're props.
like legit, they will come up with every single excuse to. But the thing they won't say, because they won't say, "Oh, we're not allowing Asians in tonight. We're not allowing black people in tonight. We're not allowing white people in tonight." They just say, "Sorry, man, not tonight." Yeah. That's racism behind the doors, yeah, and obviously you can kind of do things to see if it's actually, if the place is being racist. Last time I went out like a couple of years ago, It was myself and like 5 other guys, all of us black, yeah. So we went in line by one. We didn't go as a group, yeah. And we had females with us as well. You know, obviously in line, you talk to some people like, oh, you cool, yeah, sweet. You get to the front. What do you call it? The security guy pulls out my ID. He's like, sorry, but I can't tell this is you. Bro, the guy asked me the dumbest question. Do you have anything else? Bro, if I got my ID, why would I need my passport?
Hey, nah, that's so true. Who carries their passport out?
Bro,
Yeah.
You got anything else?
they know that my
You said,
answer
do you have
is
a
no.
birth certificate with you?
Bro, they know that my answer is nah, don't have anything else because I have my ID, bro.
Yeah.
I don't need. I was like, nah, I was like, sorry, man, can't allow you. So that's fine. I walked out. My second friend, like couple of lines, he goes in. Sorry, brother, man. The regulars tonight. Third one, we got until the 6th friend went in.
Yeah.
They said the same thing to him. It's like, you know what, you guys are being racist. 5 of my friends came in before. And you guys had a different excuse for them. It is what it is. Yeah.
That's so crazy because you know what? Like, imagine you guys stood on the side and then I don't know if you did or didn't, but you go up to me and you, bro, that's racist, right?
Yeah.
You look like crazy, angry people
Yeah.
to everybody
You do.
else there,
Yeah.
even though you're right.
Yeah.
Right? But like, you just picture, you're like, bro, what are you being racist
Yeah.
for? Like, all those people are gonna be like, come on, it's not racist.
Yeah.
He's letting the rest of us in. Like,
And then we're over there, and obviously there's guys that need to enter the club as well.
Yeah.
Right? So, you know, what the corner like, damn, man, that's crazy, isn't it? You know what I mean? Talking about plan B or whatever. man said, you want to eat kebabs?
Kebabs and noodle?
we dressed up for it.
So someone said FIFA. I was like, let's go, bro. And then we're watching like all these other guys enter. You get what I'm saying? And for me, that
How
was,
many of them cats probably had fake IDs as well, bro?
Bro.
Yeah, exactly.
Talking about your ID. I can't tell.
I can't tell if it's you. And
The
that's
guy's blonde hair in real life, black hair in the photo. It's like,
Go ahead, man. No, man. Looks good on you.
looks good. But if that's racism, I'm gonna say that's racism. But that's racism behind the doors, right? That's not in front of you saying, "Yo, sorry, we're not allowing this color in tonight," or whatever. Yeah. But there's also certain places where they'll legit tell you no because of your color, legit. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So obviously, but this is, you know, but the thing is, they can't say it here in Australia. They can't say no. We're not gonna allow black people. We're not gonna allow Asians in. It just doesn't fit in with the system and the laws.
Australia is okay, but the madness is going on that we are not exactly fully aware of. We have to realize Australia can be and is honestly a very great country.
Okay, yeah.
That is the perfect soil to grow an amazing society, an amazing civilization where everyone can be loved. You know what I mean? Like we have such a multicultural melting pot that I
for
don't
the
know what
most part is celebrated.
for the there's honestly I believe genuine attempts at trying to celebrate and understand cultures, but
It's every culture but Aboriginal because Aboriginal culture is not celebrated.
Yeah.
Right? Like as in,
Agreed.
like I've actually been thinking about it since we were talking yesterday. It's like
damn 24 hours. That's a long time. Yeah.
I've thought about it here and there.
Since yesterday, dude.
Not like non-stop. But like, you know.
Yeah.
But no, for real, like this sounds so crazy, but I do not know a single Aboriginal person.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Which is shocking.
honestly.
But it's not because I refuse to meet them, obviously. It's because they just don't.
The
They're not-
ostracization and marginalization
It's
is heavy.
crazy,
Yeah.
bro. They're literally like, Daniel said this yesterday. It's like, we don't have them here.
Yeah, and I realized I was like, how
That's a
wild
crazy
is that?
statement,
Yeah, I was
Like,
like,
they're not around us.
Yeah,
like,
after us,
directly around
They've
us.
been, and so we're talking about America's trash, but Australia might be trash when it comes to this as well, right?
Yeah.
Like when it comes to the racism towards Aboriginals,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Because I always compare it to New Zealand, right? I was born there, grew up there for a couple years, and it's like there is no place you can go in New Zealand where Maoris are not part of that area, right? Now, obviously, you got affluent areas or poor areas that are mostly certain race, but Maoris are everywhere. Maoris are in every school. Maoris are in the news, like as anchors and stuff. That's a bad joke. It wasn't even a joke. Just But you know what I mean? Actually, the most beautiful thing is that anything written in English is written in Maori as well.
yeah,
Right. So my passport has Maori in it. My like you go there, like all the brochures for where you want to like travel, all this kind of stuff, got Maori in it as well. It is the most wonderful assimilation of both cultures after New Zealand goes, yeah, we actually did come here. And
Bruh,
like
the
kinda
street
take over.
names are not in English for the most
Bro,
part.
I was born in
bro.
Takapuna.
Yeah, bro. I was
Love that.
we were struggling to navigate just because of the math. Yo, but that shows you, man.
Okay,
That's how
which is
deep it
weird
goes.
because here we have that.
But
Wagga
where
Wagga.
really? Ah, yeah.
Like we have names, but it's
it's-
like that's
That's
all
a-
we
yeah.
know.
Yeah.
I don't know what any of them mean, right? Whereas like in New Zealand, like, people actually like the average Kiwi knows Maori words. Like they know how to count to 10. They know food. They know like all this kind of stuff, right? Like for us, it's like I genuinely have no knowledge of the Aboriginal culture, people. Like besides what I learned in school or whatever, right? That's like, you know, this is what their art looks like. This is whatever. I don't really know anything about their people. I've gone upon myself and researched the history of like the disgusting stuff that happened and the stolen generation and all that kind of stuff. But it's pretty messed up how we don't have them as part of our society, which is crazy because this is their country.
No, that is
Let
true.
me try to find.
Then we get people like Pauline Hanson that's like, I'm indigenous.
Oh my
That's
God.
the funniest clip ever. When the girl's like, she's like, what am I indigenous to? She's like, England?
Bro, yeah, I know, yeah. Right.
Killed me.
Let me
16-year-old girl staring at her like,
But yeah, no, it's true that like I have Aboriginal neighbors like that I've known for a very, very long time, and they're lovely people. You know, sweet
just
people.
one up me, why don't you?
No. Like I'm just saying, like they're actually like really like, you know, lovely people.
I
but
mean,
it's
obviously,
like,
you know what I mean. That's the
I'm
thing.
getting-
Yeah. No. I'm not
Yeah,
saying, but
yeah.
like that's the thing. Like we're all.
The expectation can be the
Yeah.
opposite.
Yeah.
All the
And
that
that's
it's
because
so
of
ingrained.
what we learn at school, to
Yeah.
be honest. Like a lot of things
Facts.
that I've learned at school, it's like, yeah, they're good people, but
What's
this is
your
what
accent?
this is what they do.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're good people, but it's like, you know, all they do
Yeah,
is just drink.
that's
all
a
the
problem. That's a
all the
problem when there's
system.
the something but.
Yeah,
This is
and it's
also
always a but.
Ain't no but.
Same argument with when people want to bring up black on black violence when they talk
shut
about when everyone's saying Black Lives
Police
Matter.
stats, yeah.
They're like, oh, what doesn't Black Lives Matter then when you guys are fighting each
Talk
other?
about white on white violence then.
Not even that.
Talk about all the parents that shoot their kids in the face.
Bro, it's madness. But they don't want to bring that side of things up like that. Yeah. How about we talk about the fact that this is a system that has been in place that has forced people that are all poor together to be in the same environment that all look like each other. Of course, like you said, Carlos, if you're throwing crumbs at people, they're gonna fight over
gonna
it to
fight over it.
survive.
You know what's crazy? This might sound stupid. It's a thought that I'm working on now that you
trying to process it and that. I feel you.
Okay, let's see that.
black on black violence is evidence that they're not racist.
As in,
You know what I mean?
Black-
It's like
yeah.
they're not going out of their way to hurt somebody else. They're just like, I just want to survive around in my
That's
area.
honestly what it is.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Wait.
Like it's like I just want to survive. I know that this isn't right.
Yeah.
Right. And obviously some people are criminals. They're black and they're criminals. They're white and they're criminals. They're whatever. They're criminals. Right. But it's like I just want to survive. So I'm in this area and everyone happens to be black.
the
around me.
same
Yeah,
person that
yeah.
looks
Right.
like me, right? Yeah.
Like because it would be super racist to go, I'm not gonna rob him because he's black
Black, yeah.
and I'm black too. And then just, you know what, I'm gonna find the Asian guy.
Yeah. That's
Right?
big.
That's racist.
That's what we're targeting,
When
yeah.
the police keep on targeting black men and not white men, that's racist.
Someone. Oh man, I was going at it on Facebook, man.
Shows you're not treating everyone the same.
Exactly. This guy, he put up the statistics for obviously the stats of white people killed by police during encounters was higher. But do you realize that white people make up 60% of the US population?
Actual numbers higher, not the statistic.
Now, and just by reason of averages or whatever, you should end up with a higher number like that, right? Black people make up 12% roughly of the population of US people.
Did you see this guy on a Facebook thread writing all
Oh,
this
yeah.
stuff? He's turned
He's
into that
going at
guy.
I became that guy.
He
bro.
became
I
that
became
guy. I'm not mad.
I'm
guy-
always talking about looking at these people.
The
in the
guy
comments.
said,
I turned.
first of all,
I said, first of all,
Thus,
bro,
I have a word count.
bro, as per my previous comment, bro. But yeah, they make up 12% of the population. Yet the numbers are close
that's
in terms
madness,
of the
yeah.
stops.
That's
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah.
The numbers should be, by reason of averages, a fifth of what you're seeing.
Yes.
If the ratio is similar, that's game. But yeah, like I agree with you.
Well, hold up.
But-
Sorry. I researched Aboriginal suicide rates. This is wild, man. Like, I couldn't find anything about them, what you were saying, but
Yeah.
it sounds right because 80% of, suicides of youth aged 10 to 24 in 2011, where the victim was Aboriginal, was 80%.
Yeah. And yet, how much percent do
the
they make up of the youth? Like 3.
Yeah.
They make up 3%
but
or
this is
something
the
of the
craziest part.
population.
That same statistic in 1991, they were only 10%.
Yeah. So the jump,
Now it's 80% in the space of about 30 years.
No,
There's
that's
stuff
crazy.
to look into,
that's
man.
Wrong.
Insane.
That's wrong.
Oh, sorry. That's in a 20-year space. That statistic.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah. Nah,
I'm pretty sure, yes, that's at the highest rates, bro.
95% of Aboriginal people in Australia are affected by suicide, by a suicide of some sort, family or
Wow.
friend or whatever. That's crazy.
And that's
6
a
times
problem.
greater
Yeah.
likelihood that an Aboriginal person would commit suicide. And this is the most insane thing. Sorry, I'm on some
Is it
website.
a brown
says,
background?
Said no.
Chat.
Suicide was unknown to the Aboriginal people traditionally. They don't even have a word in their language that describes it.
Wow. That's
Yeah. Nah.
yeah.
That's
There's
mad,
cl-
bro.
there's definitely
That's
work that needs to be
insane.
done. Like honestly.
Nah, it's definitely mad, bro.
Aboriginal males are 40% more likely than non-Aboriginal males to commit suicide.
yeah,
Percent, bro.
I can
Nah.
see that.
But yeah, on to like what Carlos was saying before about, communities coming together. I think in Australia, it's definitely time that, we take care of the Indigenous people and we actually, like, when they're going to, fight for their rights or fight for something, it's like support them.
Day.
Yeah, why not
Is that what it's
support them?
called?
Go
Reclaim?
down.
I don't
I
know.
think so. See, that's the madness as well.
Yeah, that
Wow.
You know, like-
I just outed myself. Crazy.
you got to correct it. Get the
Wait,
name.
let me
the
find
name.
this.
It's also the thing of like, you want to help, but because of how detached they have been made to appear from society, you also wonder what difference can I make? I want to help in a very real way, and I want to help directly and personally, right?
Whoa.
It's like you start to wonder to yourself, where do I go?
But as a question,
For
it's
that.
like, if I want to help, where do I start?
Most cats are probably thinking I have to go to Alice Springs or something, or Northern Territory, Cairns, to
Yeah.
be able to make a difference.
But what type of help are we even? Do they even need as well?
Because this is also what I was,
That's
I
where-
was
that's
talking to
what
Noah
stuff.
about this yesterday as well. I was like, I'm stuck between wondering. There's a certain kind of framework that wants to support, Indigenous Australians and have them assimilate into our society, right?
No, you gotta go into
Yeah,
their community.
but then it's also the thing of like, what if they just don't want that? They want to be able to do them, but we've taken away all of the land that they used to be able to do them in. I remember I was telling him like, what would, not to say that they don't have the capacity to build what we have around us, but just like you have, native Amazonians still living in their society and being completely happy with it, what would society look like today?
If they were allowed to.
They were allowed to just do them and thrive like they were originally were, right?
Yep.
It might honestly look very different. You know what I mean? So it's like,
Well, different isn't bad.
and different is not exactly different is not bad. No, 100% different is not bad. When all the people were comfortable, suicide was not. There's no word for suicide in their languages. Over whatever thousands of languages.
That's so crazy.
None of them have this word, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, you want to say we've done all we can. There's infrastructures, bro. What if they just don't even want what you've put here? It's like,
They do say we've done all we can or whatever, but giving them money is not what they want as well. The real question is, have you gone in? Have you sat down with them and said, what is the problem? What do you want? How can we actually help? Because that makes a huge difference. The thing is that they don't have a voice in the society.
Well, I think it's very dismissive of the government to just give them money and
That's exactly what I'm saying. It's like,
because you know that there might be like, okay, if the statistics say there's so much more prone now to die by suicide or to end up in an alcoholic situation, or they're not financially literate, right? So they don't actually they might not actually understand the value of $1 million or $100,000 or $10,000, right? It's like you're actually doing them a disservice by just giving them money. You're basically just saying go away.
and the thing is with the whole money thing as well, yeah, they Aboriginals they value community
Yes.
over anything.
Yep.
Right, which is why at times like this they are together. They're always together. They're in groups. They do their stuff together. That's more valuable to them than anything else, right? For you to say we're gonna give you money and we're helping you and that's the best we could, to them it's like, bro, this is not what we want. This is not what we need.
You've highlighted something pretty important as well. Sorry, real quick. Yeah, they value community so much. It's like they don't want to assimilate to a false reality of community because they know what real is as well. Man.
We actually might not be that much better than America. Like we
Oh,
just have
definitely
a smaller population.
Yeah, no, honestly, though.
432 Indigenous Australians have died in police custody since 1991.
Yeah.
So that's 29 years. That's almost 15 a year. That's more than one a month.
Yeah. Nah, there's definitely need for inquiry
That's
for
insane.
that, bro.
Yeah.
Nah,
Like,
but
like again, I think it's just they just want a voice, number one, and number two, they want something to be done for what they're asking for. Right? They come here to say this is what we want, but like I said, we're not listening. Yeah, it's the same as what's going on in America and different places that's experiencing similar problems. Is that everyone is coming out crying out, "This is what we want. This is what we need." But then we're giving them something else that's not going to benefit them.
Yeah.
We're giving them something that they did not ask
No,
for.
here's what I think you need.
Yeah, honestly. Oh, money fix things for me, so it's gonna fix things for you.
Yeah, that's
That's
true.
facts.
It's like you gotta understand that they never grew. Yeah,
I got you.
yeah, you got me.
I got you.
They never growed it like that.
Oh,
They
man.
never grew up in an environment where money made a difference to them. Community made a difference to them. Yeah. So the real question is, how can you continue to expand on that? Right? How can you continue to grow that? Yeah. But then we have a different way of thinking that we can fix this problem. You know what I'm saying? And the real issue, to get to the core of the problem, is you gotta understand why is this causing problems for you, and that's how you understand the problem. And if you can fix the why, you fix the whole problem.
Yeah, def.
You know what I'm saying? What's going on with America? If you can fix that why, to why they're feeling a certain way, you fix the whole problem right there, innit?
I came into this with the idea episode titled "America's Not That Great," but it's definitely America's not that great, and maybe we aren't either. To be
Yeah.
honest, at this point, bro,
But
you know?
reality is that there is no country that I can say that's great. Every country kind of experiences their own little problems.
There's a lot of dirt and everywhere.
Yeah, there's a lot of dirt, but like you said, what you guys just said, we're not that great as well. But lucky we don't have a large amount of percentage of Aboriginals. If we do, but we're gonna be on the same level as Americans, or maybe even worse. I don't know.
Yep.
You get what I'm saying? But if you to look at another country, they're experiencing a different type of problem there as well. But then again, we don't understand what's going on over there.
Yeah, actually, I'll play it. I wasn't gonna play it before, but I'll play this clip from a news anchor.
Pow, pow,
Ready?
pow, pow. Yeah, go.
Well, I
Play.
really appreciate you giving your perspective, mate, because people in Australia don't have the understanding of the history of police killings and things here, and we really appreciate you talking to us. So thank you.
Lost her mind, bruv.
Sorry?
Yeah, exactly.
Why do I know exactly how she looks? Just
You know.
who is she?
I don't know the name. She was in California covering the California riots, and then she was asking
Try
about
skinny, short hair, blonde. I don't know.
Yep, exactly.
She is, yeah.
Bro, literally, that's exactly what I was imagining.
Yep.
Maybe glasses. I don't know.
But she's going, thank you for your insight, because we have no understanding of what's going on. You know, we don't really know about this police killing people thing. Yeah,
That itself knows that you don't know what's going on.
exactly. Yeah, man.
That itself shows that you
But
are
it goes
not.
on.
You are
Ignorance.
not you are not woke in your own society. You get what I'm saying? The only people that's low-key woke but don't want to do anything is the government. But
Oh, yeah, that's wild. That's so wild.
yeah,
In every country, the people that are the most woke are the government.
Are the
They know
government.
everything.
Yeah,
they know
do.
it all.
They do.
But what are they really
They
going to do?
know what we're
about
not
it?
allowed to know.
Yeah, man.
yeah. And then for regular people in society, like my parents don't really know how Aboriginals are being treated.
Yeah.
Like legit though, they never
Yeah.
came across one. They were never taught about it, the history about it. We might have a little knowledge about it because through school and that, but even in school we didn't really talk much about it. Yeah, if I know little about it, then my parents definitely don't know that much about it. You get what I'm saying? So, and you gotta understand that there's a lot of people like that in the society. Yeah, and some people are not woke in terms of I know what's going on in the society. You get what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like with racism before, like I said, for you to understand it, sometimes you gotta be woke and educated to a certain level to kind of understand it. You get what I'm saying? I could be here, and let's say, and you as well. Yeah, someone says a comment to you, and from a distance, I'm like, damn, that's racist. But for you, you don't see it as racist. Yeah, it's the same as when, well, this is not really racist, but like when you at school, and let's say you get like a B. And then the teacher's like, oh my gosh, that's so good. I'm like, you did really good. Like, I didn't expect that. And then the student next to you gets like a B plus. Is like, yeah, you can, work on things a little bit more. You get better. It's like, hold on, you go.
What's the difference here?
Yeah, it's like your grade was not better than his, but then she applauded you for your thing, and probably it's like the first time that she saw your mark as well. Yeah, and then the person next to you.
It's like I told you with my
with
my year 8 essay that I wrote. I fired
bro,
on him. Yeah, I fired on him, and she goes, "How long you been in Australia for?" I said,
But that's what I said.
What? Yeah, it was mad.
So
That was the first thing she asked
Bro,
me.
my
Bro.
dad went crazy when we moved to America. They tried to put my sister in ESL classes.
Yeah.
Oh my.
The guy, she's not going. She's not going. And I think he went into the school and he wrote letters and stuff. He's like, she's not going into ESL, bro. We came from New Zealand. What is wrong with you?
Yeah.
Wait, did they just assume that
Assume.
just
yeah,
wow.
and that's the thing.
So she looks a little bit Arabic.
Yep.
That's the one.
Wow.
And then so the thing is, a student at the back could look at that situation, the interaction between you and the teachers, like, yo, what are you trying to say, miss? You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Are you trying to say just because he's black, he can't really do much? But then to you, if you're not educated to a certain level, if you not work to a certain level, you're gonna be like, oh, thank you, miss. Like you got approved? Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
But you go home, oh, my teacher was proud of my work. And that's what I'm saying, that when it comes to racism, when it comes to again, I'm not saying that situation is racist or whatever, but that's just a
There's
little
definitely
sample.
prejudices and mentalities that have to be targeted,
but that's what I'm saying. When it comes to these kind of things, I feel like you got to be on a certain level in terms of education, in terms of understanding the society and being woke, and to be like, nah, that's racist. Because we could experience the same thing. I could say that's racist, and you could be like, wow.
I think
there's
two things that comes from that. The onus is on you to educate yourself, but
Yeah.
it's also on you to educate the people around.
100%.
You know what it is, I think, though, with America as well? Like,
That is trash, or
no, as in just the whole thing that, inspired this whole topic is it doesn't feel... it feels like a reality TV show at this point.
Yeah, honestly.
Like the things it's someone who's writing this.
Yeah.
Who's
someone
penning
said
this
the
script?
aliens are up there watching us like, yo, this is a fire season.
Charlotte.
going on right now.
No,
season 5 is
it's
fire,
true.
dog.
You're looking at the stuff that the president's involved in. You're looking at who the president is,
Honest.
right? You're looking at just all this
You're looking
kind
at
of
the
stuff,
healthcare
right?
that doesn't exist in one of the richest countries in the world, if not
yeah.
the richest.
Bro, that is honestly one of the biggest reasons that there's a lot of trash in the country.
A lot of hashish.
America's just
Like-
even go.
Are you trying to bring up this anonymous situation?
I wasn't gonna I was just
because
gonna touch on
are
it.
you guys
just-
scared to talk about
just
it
a
or
little.
what?
They might hack our podcast, so maybe we should just
man.
see.
I really don't even know what going on with that, but I know that there's a general fear of like,
Bro,
Yeah.
do you see
we
the
are
stuff that's been
anonymous.
leaked?
Yeah,
Like,
it's crazy.
I won't talk about it all, but but some of the stuff's kind of bro, that's your president.
Yeah, man.
He's doing that
Educate yourself.
And that's the thing. Like even when I was watching Money Heist, so sad that it's over. Waiting on the next season. Like they had an sorry if spoiler or whatever, but they had for one of the seasons they were going into one of the biggest banks. And they were going to steal briefcases that had secrets that would literally destroy the whole government,
Yeah, I saw
destroy everyone in power. And I was like, this is what's happening. These governments literally
Bro, how
have done
wild.
things that if it were to be leaked, everything
the world would
just
flip.
And what would happen?
What would happen?
What would happen?
What would happen? Do we care?
We're gonna be shook.
So the stuff that has come up, let's specifically DT, yeah, with Trump, it's the stuff that's come up yesterday night.
Yeah.
Bro, we were up
I was on
let me see.
Twitter like crazy.
Bro, I love Twitter.
Twitter's good.
But the stuff that came up was his whole relation with the whole Epstein thing and a bunch of stuff about that. And I was just I don't think any of this matters to his fan base.
Yeah.
I don't think any of it matters to his fan base because he's already had one or two sexual misconduct,
Scandals,
scandals and all that kind of stuff, which he finessed his way out of.
Little
right?
finagle.
And I think none of this changes him to his core fan base. I don't think they care.
You need to realize the core fan base shares the same mentality.
This guy could, I sent this on the chat earlier. It's he could shoot somebody and his fan base would applaud him. And I say that because he literally used that example at a rally once. He was I could shoot somebody and you would all clap for me. Yeah! And they were all
Yeah, no, that's but
How?
Again,
How, bro?
Again,
How?
it comes back to the fact that there's a win. Yo, no one is dumb.
Tell
no
me that's
one,
not a reality TV
bro.
season 7.
it's actually
Bro,
like
we're on
crazy.
season 4 right now.
Come on.
We're on season 4. In November, they're going to tell us if they renewed for season 5.
Yeah,
nah,
true.
production agency picked us up for another season, yo.
Like,
Biggest season coming, bro. I'm
Nah,
telling you,
but
man.
legit, that's honestly, that's what it is. Everyone knows. No one's
baffles.
dumb. Everyone knows what's going on. Everyone knows how bad people are.
But do
Everyone
you-
knows
no,
their
do-
privilege. No one cares.
Do you realize how weird this is?
Yeah.
Like this
It
guy,
is.
like even these allegations. I don't know who to believe, but I believe everyone. I don't believe anyone at the same time. Like these allegations based on his character and what he has said and all this kind of stuff. Bro, this is the same guy that said Ivanka, brackets, his daughter. If she wasn't my daughter, I'd go for her.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
It's
You didn't hear?
Trump is
My brother, like,
My brother.
how? How?
It's mad. It's mad. It's mad.
Like,
bro.
yeah. But
Who
it-
looks at a child, especially
Yeah, nah,
their
that's
child,
gross.
or any
That is
child,
really
but like
gross.
in that direction?
it's
So
gross.
what do you
It's
tell me?
nasty.
Sometimes when you eat dinner, you look at him. No, like
You deserve a good man.
Bro. Nah, honestly. Man.
Like me, but not me. Like,
Man.
what was that? Like,
That's
tell me this isn't a
nasty.
reality
It's
TV
what?
show.
I can't.
This is like an episode of Family Guy or something.
For real.
Right,
But like, yeah,
I can't deal
with
with
like
it.
these anonymous people, so they're obviously a group that
Are
are no one
anonymous.
knows who they are. But like,
they're ones we are
there's-
legion.
Yeah, no, they said that at the end. Yeah, that was a bit oof. I said, oof.
You know where that comes
Yeah,
from?
from the Bible, innit?
but yeah,
scary.
there's been like a video circulating around of a man in a mask. You know, obviously voice has been
Distorted.
auto-tuned. Yeah, so we don't know who they are.
Hey, turn my reverb up a little bit.
But they're like, you know, just exposing not even just the government, Trump, but like celebrities as well. You know, celebrities, royal family, for like
That
all
was
of these.
crazy.
Yeah, but
Naomi
it's-
Campbell's caught up.
It's just
Why they gotta do it like
they're
that?
ruining lives, and like they're putting actual like factual evidence out there as well, photos and documents
Affidavits.
to prove. Yeah, documents
Guys
to prove
came with
things.
receipts.
Yeah, bro.
So it's-
Recipients, bro.
Is there a way to verify if this is true?
That's the thing.
That's the thing. That's why I don't believe anything. I believe everything at the same time.
There's no way of verifying it, yeah?
Yep.
Who knows? Because no one knew in the first place most of these things, and the people
my
that,
God.
like we said, who's the people that are woke are the government, and it's probably hidden. No one else
Yeah.
really. No one knows.
And
what
as soon as it happened, Trump went on Twitter saying fake news, fake news. So he's
Bruh.
he's the only one who would know if it's
that's
true
the
or
other
not.
thing. Like, imagine you are the leader of America and the leader of the free world, and you spend all your time tweeting every
Bro,
thought
Yeah,
that
he
comes to your
tweets
head.
too
Bro,
much.
Bro,
deeper
that's
than that.
not okay.
How does he do it?
Deeper
So
than that.
quick.
Deeper than that.
Yeah.
Imagine being the leader of the nation, and Twitter has to say, "Bro, we have to start fact checking."
Oh yeah, yeah.
Did you say he's like? It's so funny. He was like, "I'm gonna shut down Twitter for fact checking me,"
Yep.
and then Twitter fact checked
No, you're
that
not.
tweet. They were like, the president does not have the authority to shut down a site based on his
Hey, so
He was moving mad.
So Donald Trump, what do you call it? Didn't he possibly build something good to do with social media?
I don't know anything.
yeah, no, I
Yeah, he
think
did, he
that's-
did.
Yeah, that's what he
what
did.
was it? Because the reality is that you can't jump on. I know he's the president, but can you actually jump on a platform and try to shut that down? Like Twitter is its own company. Like
I don't know.
Like,
no, he can't shut it down. Sure.
yeah, he can't shut down. But even like, but it's like when you're trying to post something inappropriate
Yeah.
on social media.
There's policies to abide by.
Yeah,
bro.
they're like that. Like, nah, you know, even like on YouTube. Why are you looking at me like that? But even like on YouTube, you know what I'm
Can't say
saying?
when I try to post something inappropriate, they don't leave me.
You took it down real quick. But even like, huh?
Carry on.
But even on like YouTube, you know what I'm saying? Because YouTube's like, nah, you can't do that to my swearing, you know, whatever. You get what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So it's almost like, how can you try to push forward
I don't
what?
know.
I'm trying to figure
That's
it
why
out.
we're saying it's
I
a,
don't-
it's a
I-
reality
because it's
show,
like,
bro.
yo, if you can't apply with
It's a
these laws,
circus.
please go away.
Yeah, I don't know. Trump.
You
is
gotta comply with our laws, fam.
Hey man, I feel before we drag it too much.
Yeah, we'll be
If you guys have made it to this,
Oh,
Yeah,
snap.
you know.
An hour and 30?
nah, not even. I feel like,
20.
yeah, man,
That's a long
like
time.
it's
35.
it's an exhausting conversation to always have, but it's very very important. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like.
Definitely.
Bottom line for me that I've definitely realized, like I said, is just make sure you check yourself, fact check yourself, bro, and look after you, the people around you, and the energy you're putting out towards them,
safe
and
in
what
the
you're
streets.
speaking about, what you're supporting, even what you're not speaking about, but you're actually supporting in a, you know, what's the word, bruv? Subconscious way.
actions.
Yeah, man.
Um,
Yeah.
Yeah.
You just gotta continue to support each other and be woke, man. Like Danny
aren't
said,
racist-
educate yourself in these
Yeah.
things. You know what I'm saying?
If you
Stand for
aren't
something.
racist, don't let it be around you. If you are racist, check your heart. If you're a Christian and you
Yeah.
feel like you're racist, check God's heart.
I think we
about
didn't
it.
dive
Yeah,
into it
for
properly,
sure.
but I was definitely wondering, like, bro, these, like Collins actually said, yeah, these are the same. I was thinking this in the shower today, yeah.
He killed it.
So, like, you know, Christians who believe in Jesus or claim to believe in Jesus yet don't want to love their brother and sister, which are the very words of Jesus Christ.
Does not make sense.
I want to question which
Yes.
Jesus you're following. And if Jesus was alive in human form today,
You wouldn't like him.
you wouldn't like him, one, and Jesus would say, one of you will betray me, and everyone will be doing this because everyone is moving, like, everyone's moving mad. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like,
I think-
you clearly are not really understanding who your savior is.
I was
at
talking about
point.
this with one of our pastors, and I was saying, like, the thing that is shocking to me with a lot of white evangelicals, from what I've seen, is that it seems that they love Christianity more than they love Jesus.
Yeah.
Right? And so I'm more
The
willing.
agenda that it serves for
Yes,
them, bro.
I'm more willing to, because they have done this thing where they have lumped into Christianity capitalism and all these other things, and it's like now it's become this one mega ball, and it's like, if I'm a Christian, then I have to be a capitalist. If I'm a Christian, then I have to be this. If I'm a Christian, then I have to be anti this and anti that, and pro this and pro that, and all this
Pro
kind of
guns.
stuff. And so when that gets challenged by your own savior, scripturally even, people don't feel comfortable, right? And when it gets challenged by other people within the church, it's like, I'm not comfortable to change my thinking because that might change my reality, right? Which I don't necessarily want that to change. And that's crazy. And it's like, it's shocking to me to think like, this is where I'm confused, because it's like, you do realize your Messiah is not white, right? Like he's just not. And chances are he would have been looking like one of those innocent people that would have got beat up in the streets in 2001 after 9/11, right?
Yeah.
Like if you can't grasp that, your whole perspective's whack. Like, I just don't get it. I don't get it when it, like, from within the church, people can't go, we need to stand up for this thing, and we need to not make it political.
Because it's not political.
'Cause
man.
it's not
about
political.
humans, bro. So
Yeah.
we love you guys, man.
Thanks for tuning in, guys.
Yeah.
Appreciate you. Take care of one another. Love each other.
We'll catch you on next week's episode. We got another
Yeah.
guest coming. That's gonna be dope. I think we got another guest the week after that, and then the week
Yeah.
after that, we're celebrating our half century.
Half a century.
Wow, 50 episodes.
Pow,
Yeah.
pow, pow.
But until then, we'll catch you next week. Peace, love,
sorry.
Love you
take
all,
care,
man.
love somebody, treat people well.
Oh, man.
See ya. I want to love somebody.
I want to be on a heat with somebody. All right, listen. We are.
Somebody.